Not a lot of them. Got some young guys got to step up. It's too early. It's fourth practice. You're not going to start making decisions now in fourth practice. Wait till we get that 13, 14. Kind of see where we're at. But right now they're working hard. I'm happy where we're at, but we got a long ways to go.
What can Mike Hall be if he's healthy?
He could be special. He'd be special. He's got all the skill sets. Be special. He's just got to stay healthy and go from there. Yeah.
What's the benefit of having Jack just being a defensive end now, and did you maybe push for that? He said he kind of pushed for it.
Yeah, I thought just evaluating it. Just a conversation with coach and say, hey, I think it's best for Jack go back to the line of scrimmage, and I think we got another guy who can probably play to Jack and let him put his hand in the ground, let him go rush. And that's why we brought him here to do that. And I thought that it was a good experiment, but now let's go play football. And I think that's the best position for him. He feel happy where he's at, and that's important too. Yeah.
He said he was happy to kind of be able to put his hand on the ground again and get in that stance and go. Is that like his best, do you think, trade? Like, how is
I think so. I think his best trade is to put his hand on the ground and go rush as a defensive end. He's 6'5", 265-pound guy coming off the edge. So we're just going to go back and refine his technique, continue to make him better. You can drop, but I think at the end of the day, you want him on the line of scrimmage rushing and playing.
Where can he refine that?
I think there's a lot of things you can do when at this stage of the game in your career. It's like, what can I get better at the little things? The little things is the bending, it's my hands, it's my hips. Those are the things that's got to accelerate right now, and that's what we're working on, concentrating right now.
Because he was spending some of his time maybe experimenting with that Jack position. In some ways, is his development process as a defensive end behind, or are you seeing him?
You don't get the same work. I wouldn't say put him behind. The Jack is standing up a line, so he's coming off the edge or he's on the other side. Defensive line guy, you're down on the ground, you're fitting every single time. So it's kind of different things that we're doing, right? You'd love to see he can do both, but that's tough to do that, unless you got one guy who can do it all the time. So I don't think he set it behind me. It's just it's different than the first time going into a new defense playing that position. So I think we're evolved from that point on.
And the guys expected to be in the front line at least. They've got some experience. Do you feel like you're building depth behind those guys right now?
That's what we have to build. I think we have to build some depth. I think that's the key right going into spring. Build some depth in the inside. I feel pretty good about the inside guys. I think we got some strong depth there. Now we got to build the end position. We've had that in the past, and then the first time we got to go build that again. So I'm looking forward to see what happens in the next 14 days. Where we finish.
I know you guys rotate a lot, but do you think Tyleek Williams and Mike Hall will probably be the starting defensive tackles?
It's hard to say right now because you got three guys. You got Tyleek, you got Ty, and you got Mike Hall. There's three guys inside. You got to find a place for them. And that's my job. Where can they play? Where can they be? So it's great competition. And I think that's the key. But it's just too early to figure out what's going to happen. We'll let it play itself out. But I like where we're at right now on the inside.
How close is Hero Canoe? It's a cool story. He's from Germany. I think he's only been playing football for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
How close is Hero Canoe?
You say Hero? Who's that?
Hero Canoe.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I didn't even know he was standing right next to me.
Yeah, he's coming. He's had it the first 4 days. I've been really pleased. He's starting to come along. I think he's starting to figure out this football thing, and his future's ahead of him. So I'm looking forward for the next few days to see how he does. But he's doing well right now.
Larry, Zach described Kenyatta as like maybe flashing more than anybody else a year ago, but not maybe realizing how good he could be on a play-in, play-out basis.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's your assessment on that, but where do you go
He's got a lot of potential. He's got a lot of potential. So now it's just learn how to play the game at maximum speed, if that makes sense. So that's the part. When you're on the scout team, you can play at a slower pace. Now you're with the big boys now for the first time going against the ones and twos. Now that speed's got to pick up. So it's a learning process. Everything's a process. And hopefully the spring ball will get that out of him, give him a chance to really show himself. But he's got talent. Amari does too. I like Amari. I think Amari's really starting to move forward. He's 265 now, and so I like where those two guys are starting to grow.
What did Amari miss with that knee?
He missed a lot of football. It's just the fundamental part. It's the technique stuff that you miss. And the conditioning part because he wasn't doing the real football stuff. So now he's playing catch up. But I like where he's at right now. He's starting to really turn the corner. And that's what I'm waiting to see. Yep.
We saw what Mike Hall could do in the rushman packages, pass rushing ability. Mm-hmm. What can he be as a run defender?
That's what, people say his pass was outstanding. But his best position is playing a run because he's got such a great get off on the inside. And so he can disrupt the line of scrimmage pretty quickly with his first step.
Where do you need to see him improve?
Just continue to get better. The sky's the limit for him. He's got to continue small things. It's just the little things you get better at, and that's what we got to work on. Where his hands, placement, eye discipline, all those things are part of him being a real elite player, and that's what we're working on.
Was Mike's shoulder more severe than we knew?
I want to say severe, but it bothered him. When you're playing inside and you got a shoulder injury, you can't do this. You can't lock out. So now you're playing one arm. That's tough to do to play the run. and it affected him. There's no question about it. It affected him mentally, but now he's healthy. He's done a great job of rehabbing, make sure he's strong to go, and right now he's having a pretty good camp.
Caden Curry, what do you expect out of Caden this year?
Caden's he's got to come on the field and play for us. He's got to play. He knows that. It's that time, right? And when you get to this point of the game, you got to play. It's all there. So now he's just got to play more football. And he's doing a good job right now for us, and looking forward to see how it goes as we go forward. But
I know he didn't play a lot last year, but it seemed like to the untrained eye that he played well. How did he grade out? How did you think he played?
Yeah, I thought every time he went in a game, he made a play. And I always said about Caden. You watch him play in high school, he just made plays, man. Somehow he found the football. And when we put him in a game in the last half of the game, Caden Curry, that's what he is. And that's what we're looking for. He plays hard, and that's what I love about him. Yeah.
Well, Jay kind of said that maybe later in the season he plateaued a little bit, but you maybe noticed that with Caden.
Well, he's doing special teams, doing special teams, and then we're in a situation now that we're probably playing the older guys a little bit more. We're going to keep the guys on the field, so he wasn't a factor for us going down the stretch. But he played a lot of special teams, and I think that was his game. Now it's time to play football, and I think he's ready to do that.
Where do you think JT can grow this offseason, spring practice, going into his third year?
Like I always say, first block the noise and just concentrate on who you are. Don't worry about all the other things outside. Just concentrate on your technique and just keep getting better. And again, I say this all the time. It's not the big things, the little things, and you get better as a player. And that's what we work in, is all the little things, where his step, his hand place, eye discipline, all those things are important to become an elite player. He has a talent and skill set, so how can we make him better? Well, that's my job. I got to find those little things to make him better.
Put Tigris Shabola on attack.
Going back to those little things you mentioned, he's always mentioned during spring practice.
A couple more questions for Coach Johnson.
Teaching the fundamentals and the basics of things. How do you maybe describe, just when you're down there in the trenches, making a tackle in open space, how would you describe your coaching philosophy, just in teaching the tackling and those fundamentals?
Tackling for the inside guys is totally different from the guy open space, right? So we have more wrap roll tackles than anything else, and then we have face-on tackles. And so we're more face-on wrap roll tackle because the ball is running away from us. And so we work, you saw it today, we work a lot on that because those are the tackles those guys get. And the open space guys come from the linebacker. And then we might get an open space in a quarterback, and that's about leverage, getting to the top shoulder, make sure we contain the quarterback and fit him. So those things all play in our tackling ability. And we tackle every Tuesday. Every Tuesday of the season we're tackling and working on those basic techniques.
How much emphasis is on those tackling fundamentals and making it right, the right way of winning, flags that might come from those tackles?
That's what you have to do. It's really important to make sure we know how to not only tackle but contain the football, and those things all play together.
Ideally,
One more question.
You are building depth, both edge and tackle. How many would you want on a year-to-year basis that you feel like you want this number set ready to play once you get to it?
You like to have 8. You like to have 8 to play. That's what you really like to have, is 2 deep. And then you need a 5th guy who can play either nose or 3 technique, and the end we go right and left. So put you around 10. And then I think that's a good number to go into a game with, And the last year we had a lot of depth. This year we may only 10 guys can play. We just got to wait and see. But that's what I like to do. You want to have 2 deep, and you're going to have a guy who's a bonus player who can play inside and a guy who can play right or left end. So it gives you some flexibility.
And I know it's early, but how many of the 10 do you feel like you have right now?
It's hard to say right now. We're still rolling. So we're not in the depth charts right now. We're really in just getting guys enough plays to play. And that'll time will come.
Any good candidates for me to be that bonus guy?
What's that?
Anybody you stand out who could be like that bonus guy?
Not yet. We're waiting. We're waiting to see who that guy's going to be, right? Yep.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Appreciate it.
Folks, we have